Something goes off. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the Path of Exile 0.3 League launch. As you can probably tell, I'm fucking beat as heck. My voice is shot, and I probably look disgusting. And that's probably because I've been gaming for 24 hours straight with the boys. And it started off as probably one of the most depressing League launches I've had in a very long time. But, ended incredibly solid. I'm super happy with the build we ended up with. I think after we got through kind of the tough parts of Act 2, it was one of the smoothest campaign experiences I've had playing any character outside of like the galvanic arrows, bow cuck shit that's just, blatantly OP. So this was awesome. And I think one of the things that I really want to point out in this video is that if you look online and just talk to the other PoE content creators, there's a lot of discussion right now on armor and how shit armor is. And it's true, armor is an incredibly bad defense in the late game. But when you're just playing through the campaign, like especially just for the first day of a league, like armor is an incredibly effective stat. Like we have 70% PDR at like 1.8k armor. Like that's an insane amount of defense for like, pretty little investment. And again, it's going to fall off incredibly huge later on in the game. But throughout playing the campaign, like you should be investing into armor. If you're not investing into armor, you should expect to have some other defense. Like you need to have some kind of defenses while playing through the campaign, or you're just gonna have a really miserable time, and it's not gonna be a cozy experience. And you are gonna, just have those chances where you just die. So like I just want to evangelize armor through the campaign with big armor gaming. And so that was one of the kind of the breakthroughs. And also I think just the Smith of Kitava ascendancy in general, the fact that you just get this node and immediately in Act 2 you're capped res just makes the campaign such a more enjoyable experience, because you're not always stressing about the fact that you have like 2 lightning res and you're fighting a lightning boss. It's just such a nice thing to have, and the fact that you get it like right away, 2 points, it's just, I can't speak highly enough about this ascendancy, especially for hardcore, especially for players who are just like kind of new to the hardcore experience. They're not kind of like professional blasters, and they might not want to just like copy and paste the the most popular build that everyone else is playing, and they want to be a more melee oriented character. And if that's you, well, you should probably be looking into the Smith of Kitava, because this thing is honestly awesome. And this was the first time I got to play with temper weapon. The reason I went with this ascendancy, this league launch, was I was actually planning on going a blood mage using the molten blast, but as soon as the patch went live, like 20 minutes before they released the passive tree. And when they released the passive tree, we saw this node get added, which is melee splash. And I love melee splash. Like when I was first playing PoE2, like I would try to just get the highest mace base type of the mace that had the melee splash, because like normal mace melee strike with melee splash felt like kind of the best like melee option we had, no cap, like for just kind of normal melee damage, which might speak towards some other issues, but at least from a gaming perspective, like it felt really good to have that splash damage. And it always sucked that it was always only associated with one base, and so now that you can have access to this, it just makes all those different kind of like just generic strike skills, which this is like so much like easier to use. We don't have to constantly worry about if you have the right like base type weapon. It's just like such a game changer for that style of gameplay. And the clear is super nice. You just walk up the mobs, you just auto attack, and the screen's dead. And if it's a rare, obviously you got to do some things if it's a rare, but for the most part, it's an incredibly cozy experience. And again, you just get to stack a bunch of like the easy life nodes, and you get a bunch of strength, get a bunch of armor. It's an incredibly it was an incredibly smooth experience. Cannot recommend this ascendancy and this kind of style of gameplay higher enough. And I will just walk you through some of the gear real quick that we're walking with as we close out the game here. I wanted to point out this little unique, if there are any fellow Smith of Kitava gamers in the chat, dude, consider picking up this bad boy. You get 13 chaos resist, 72 max life, but a flat 15% PDR? Like, hello? What gives you a flat 15% PDR? This thing looks insanely busted. I'm sure there's gonna be some map later on, like that, like, you know, makes us not that good in the late game. But like through the campaign, if you can figure out resistances, which we have because we're Smith of Kitava, I mean, this thing is like the fix all button. It's insane. Like just this one item makes you just like your EHP go to 1,000,000. So like huge. Like if you're playing trade and you're a Smith of Kitava gamer, like why aren't you using this? Tell me, because like this thing is fucking sick. I also managed to pick up, like, so we're rocking one-handers. The reason we're going with one-handers over two-handers was because honestly I found this. I was going through Act 3. I just crafted this in Act 2, which is like a totally GG mace. I found an essence that had the adds flat fizz damage, and I bought a base type that had someone rolled percent PDR, and so I just bought that for like 2 eggs, and I slammed it, and you know, had this, and I was like, you know, this, you know, I could beat Act 3 with this essentially. But while I was in Act 3, this dropped like the best rolled one-handed mace possible, like an insane mace. I was like, okay, like I'm guessing I'm going one-handed maces now. And then and so this pretty much lasted me all the way up until the last boss of Act 4, when this literally dropped like on the doorstep of the last boss to Act 4, which is just a straight upgrade. And the lightning damage is actually sick. I mean, having the shock on the boss is so nice. And so yeah, I got very lucky with my gear drops, but also like to trade, like these are like, you know, max like 4 egg weapons, so it was incredibly easy, and like it was not hard to get damage from the form of weapons, especially in trade when it was so easy to buy base types and craft on them. So like you really should not be struggling for damage, because you could be buying weapons and just crafting on them. So if you're struggling with that, I'd be curious to know why. And then just going for like just a lot of armor on the rest of the gear. Like I just tried to prioritize base armor, and then just getting the other stats where they need to be. So obviously fire res everywhere we could get it, the other reses if we couldn't, and then life and armor. And that's pretty much it. Obviously fire res rings. This is a pretty absurd ring. I think I bought this ring as a blue with 32 life and 21 fire, and then I essence slam the chaos res, and then dry exalt slam the lightning res and fire damage, which is just like absurd. Like, so I was like a sick craft, and just some other kind of really basic gear. So like really nothing special. Like I bought this, and like, no, I didn't bought this. I found this on the ground, but obviously it's really good. So I mean, it is pretty good gear, but I mean, none of this is like that hard to get. I mean, especially straight league. So I mean, if you're a trade league, none of this should be you know, that far out of the way. Nothing's more than 2 eggs or anything like that. So that's it. I'll show you guys the playthrough and what the gameplay looks like here coming up. And so yeah, this was my Smith of Kitava kind of campaign experience. I'll be hitting maps tomorrow. I'm not all the way through the interlude yet, but it should be pretty quick, and you know, people told it was not that hard, so not expecting too much friction to get into maps, and looking forward to, you know, I'm not ultimately entirely sure how this character is going to scale. Like, we are going to die unless we get some kind of fix for damage mitigation later on, which probably is going to come from form of like a combination of max res and like maybe sticking with the armor thing, but we'll see. That's something I still have to work on. But look, there's so many tools to work with. The damage is there. I mean, being able to stack all those in power nodes, I don't feel like this character is really at a lack for damage. I'm just kind of worried about the survivability later on in the game as you get deeper into maps, especially with the Abyss mobs. I mean, the Abyss is fucked. Like, I know I'm gonna die already, the Abyss, and so that's what it is. But anyway, so this was our Smith of Kitava character. Check it out. I would highly recommend this kind of archetype if you enjoy the melee hardcore you know, ARPG experience. It was a lot of fun. You get to be super engaged. Couldn't recommend it enough. All right, peace, guys. So I'm not going to try to show you too much Act 1 leveling because you've all seen Act 1 warrior leveling before. There's nothing new here, but I do want to just make some comments first on the servers. I think, you know, everyone had some concerns coming into this weekend, that given the fact that they were announcing the free-to-play, not launch, but experience, and opening that up for new players, that servers were going to kind of shit the bed more or less. But no, they did a good job holding up, and I think that gives some confidence moving forward that we don't necessarily need to expect the worst when it comes to the servers on a league launch. So that's, hey, big win, GGG. But there are some other things you did. There are some other things you did this league launch that were disgusting, and we'll get into them. I think the clip's gonna come up right here, but I really have a bone to pick with the Abyss mechanic, and I promise we'll jump into some actual like this with the Kitava gameplay soon. But I just need to just get this off my chest. Like I'm so sick of, and like this is coming from like a super GGG fanboy, all right? But it's just like so annoying and frustrating that almost every single league mechanic they launch is like designed to fuck people like me in the ass and like offer no real like other alternative. The fact that these abysses just happen and you can't like voluntarily opt in or opt out of them is such a horrible experience from a hardcore perspective. It's like really made the campaign experience noticeably worse because I had to avoid certain areas of the maps that I knew had ridiculously overpowered monsters that were going to one-shot my character regardless of anything I did, right? No defense is going to be able to tank what these monsters are putting out as far as damage. And they're like literally putting them in front of our track. Like I can't just not engage with the mob because in order to get like past the hallway to fight the boss, there's like an abyss spawn there with a fucking mob. And so I had to like reset the zones. I was like, come on, dude. Like, what are we doing, GGG? Like, why are we just always on these freaking league mechanics, just making them the most obnoxiously like overpowered enemies possible, and then like not even giving us the option to opt in or opt out of engaging with it? Like, honestly, I think that's a big miss. And I'm sitting here knowing that I am going to die to Abyss in maps. I know it. It's just going to be a matter of when, not if, which really sucks. And like, because if it was up to me, like I just wouldn't engage with it. I would be like, yeah, I know this is gonna kill me. I know my character isn't strong enough to deal with it, so I'm just gonna not engage with it. But like, it doesn't seem like I have that option, which like is a real bummer. And so I think it's a real big miss on GGG to make these, like, for making these mechanics as OP as they are, but fine, like, do you. But like, if you're gonna do that, then at the very least, you have to make it so we can choose and not engage with it. Because that just makes this experience like look at this shit, bro. Like, I hated it. I hated it, bro. Like, it was so bad. And this is like throughout the entire campaign. Like, I'm just showcasing it now, but like, it really sucks. So anyway, I won't belabor the point any further. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Abyss shit. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe the crafting stuff is cool. Maybe it'll be cooler later on. But like, really disappointed with how it was launched in the state it was in. And like, of course, it's just another like fuck you hardcore player like game mechanic. Just like, all right, GGG. Like, all right, I get it. Oh, and did I say I was going to show you the Kitava gameplay? Yeah, well, not quite. Bro. Okay, important to note. Now you can appreciate my reaction. I was missing, like my mace strikes were missing, which is why I say it felt so weird, because I was swinging my weapon, but like I wasn't making any contact with the enemies, and I was assuming, given what Jonathan was saying going into this patch, that like melee wasn't going to have an accuracy issue, but there was at least 2 swings on a big fat guy that I missed that was like gonna be the Brone Shatter procs to make that pack clear. So like, that was a really funky kind of like death, and it was obviously stupid, but like, come on, that was dumb. And but we go again. We're not gonna let those kind of setbacks put a real god gamer down. And there's one more mechanic I wanted to talk about before we get to this, but the Kitava gaming, which is sprint. Like, because I'm very on the fence of this one, and it's one of those things that I'm sure is going to be iterated on like a million times between now and then. So I'm going to give them a little bit of grace here and not go too hard into it, because it feels clunky. I'm sure after a moment, like after having more experience with it, I'll be more comfortable with it and it'll feel more natural. But it is objectively a kind of quirky, funky sprint mechanic. It's not just like other video games where you like hold down shift and like your character sprints. There's a little more nuance to it. It's kind of funky. It's kind of hard to explain too, unless you're just kind of doing it yourself. Like you have to double tap the roll to get it going, and then like hold it down. And I know there are like other settings I could have been using to maybe do it better, but I wasn't fucking around with it. So but the reason I bring this up is because sprinting changes the way that we do boss fights. So like this boss, for instance, you just saw me sprint around the die mechanic, which is like, I would not have sprinted usually in that case. So it's a very interesting topic, and I'm still a little bit divided on sprint, especially the knockdown stuff, but we'll see. It's interesting that you use on bosses like that. And anyway, why are we watching this clip? This isn't Spit the Kitava Gaming. What are you watching this for? Huh. Oh, yeah, that happened. So if you caught it before I entered that room, I checked my character sheet. I have overcapped fire res, bro. If you showed that character sheet to 100 hardcore Path of Exile players, 100 times out of 100, they would all tell you that character was going to kill that boss without any issues. I somehow managed to find a way to die. This is incredible. I still cannot believe I died to this boss. I'm assuming what happened is that he has some kind of like shotgun ability that, because of the way I was positioned against the wall and where he was, I just got like uber fucked because of the position and the way the shotgunning worked. Because like, how the fuck else does a character with like, you know, a shit ton of armor and max fire as die on that boss? I've never seen it. So that was brutal, man. I'll tell you what, I'm not feeling good right now, dude. This is pits of despair, kind of like hardcore gaming where you really have to dig deep. This is what separates the softcore gamers from the hardcore gamers. This is where you got to dig deep and go again. You know, the first time you go again, it's easy, you know. The first time you go again, you know, of course you're not going to make it the first time. But then, you know, you get your second character up and running, you know, you get your second character suited up, you're feeling good, you know, you're about to make your ascension, you have capped resistances, like, yeah, we're chilling. And then that character dies, and it's like, oh, man. You're like, yeah, that's brutal territory, so... and then this is the redemption kill. We don't need to watch this, but yeah, we did indeed make progress today. Thank God. And so after we got our second ascension, or the first ascend we did in the second was we just got the resist nodes, and then we did the trial of the chaos at level 40, and then we got the anvil. And so this is me jumping out right out of the trial of chaos. Just, you know, trying out the hammer for the first time, never using it before, and just seeing how it feels. And I felt pretty good about this. Like, it's one of those things where like you use it and it's like, okay, like I see the potential here. Like, it didn't feel like a nothing burger, and it felt like something that had a lot of potential. And so I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised when I just like, without any, I don't have any support, let's stick to it right now. It's like totally unsupported. Like, I don't have any empower supports on the tree. It's like totally raw dog tempest weapon, like temper weapon. And it's like, it's a thing. It's not like an invisible thing. And this is me on the Viper boss. I don't even know if I have support chips yet, because I don't know if I realized I could do that yet. I mean, I did realize it, but I did dig around to it. And like, you know, the thing about this boss I really don't like is just it's like really shitty to position a melee character, and that position specifically, because if you try to go up and like melee her, the guys with the shields will stab at you from behind and like doing shit ton damage like for free, and it's like that really sucks. So the positioning for melee characters on this fight really sucks. And like I mean, that's obviously like a lot of fights being a melee character where like the positioning sucks, but like I really don't like how some fights just make it so you're so penalized for being like a melee character, where it's like you're already being penalized because you're a melee character. It's like, why are we making melee characters' lives harder when their lives are already hard because they're melee? You know, it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, do we really need that mechanic of the guy stabbing you with the spear when you're close to them on the boss? Like, come on. And so the combo I'm trying to pull off is with the Forge Hammer is, and yeah, I think I'm still playing around with my gem links. Even right now, I'm not sure like what are the most optimal gem links. I mean, they're all mace slam skills, right? So you just throw some, Fist of War, damage, whatever. It's not rocket science to figure out how to do damage with these skills. Throw some gems in there, bro. Just figure it out. So I try to lead with like the Forge Hammer into the Infernal Cry to get the first explode, and then empower the EQ, which will give another Fissure, and then I'll use the auto attack with all the rest of my temper weapons, and then just cycle through that. And obviously get the Bone Shatter procs when they're there. And honestly, it's like, obviously again, this fight just hard from a melee point of view, just to get damage in, because she's a bitch. It's like just hard to fucking damage her because she doesn't stand still, and it's the arena sucks. But it's still probably acknowledged to be at least pre-Act 4 the hardest campaign fight in the game. And look, like it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like easy, but like it was by no means like you could do this. Like, you don't need anything. Like it is a very low IQ gamer moment to be able to pull this off on this kind of a character. So it's very feasible for anyone to be able to make it this far on this kind of a setup, which is that's kind of why the point I wanted to include this, just to not be intimidated by these bosses. And again, like this is a very unoptimized setup. Like I'm sure someone smarter than me can make just what's on the screen here do like 10x more damage. And again, in a situation where, again, a lot of the damage isn't being showcased the way it is because the Viper boss just sucks. So anyway, I'm gonna cut and we'll go back to the actual gamer. So I know that boss fight looks pretty ass, but like that's as bad as it gets, right? That's probably the hardest campaign boss, at least pre-Act 4, and obviously I think it probably is still the hardest Act 4 boss, maybe Yama, but honestly, like from a melee point of view, I'd still probably say that's the toughest one. So given that our build can do it, like really not that big of an issue. Like it is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but again, it's not hard, and very easily for anyone to achieve. But this is the payoff, right? This is the clear, and like this was so much fun, man. Like this clear felt so good, and like I'm not doing the best job of showing off like the cleanest combos right now, but and you definitely don't need to be empowering your weapons as much as I am. Like you could get away with pretty much never empowering your weapons on these clears like that, and just only do that for like bosses and rares and be totally fine, just because the Forge Warhammer Infernal Cry into just like auto attack into Bone Shatters like were just like really smooth. And it was really cool too to be able to proc Bone Shatters from like range with the melee with the Forge Hammer. So like you could swing your Forge Hammer like at a pack and like have a Bone Shatter procs waiting for you. So like you just like go roll up right to the pack, like start bone shattering things. You just get these huge fire explosions like right over your screen, and like just felt great to play. Like it was really smooth clearing. Like your HP bar like never moved. Like you see like how tanky your guy feels just like in like just generic white mobs, which are like tough mobs. Like I'm not saying generic white mobs is like a derogatory sense. Like these mobs get people. So the fact that like our character is literally just immune to any of the damage. Well, I took some check that way, but like we're not taking a lot of damage, right? And we're it's really nice clear. And this was what it was like the majority of like post getting temper weapon, or even before that combo, right? Just standard warrior stuff. So this was a really fun playstyle, and I would highly recommend the Forge Hammer / temper weapon / Infernal Cry / fire explodey kind of gameplay. It works. This is like one of the bosses that I was looking forward to showcasing the most, because this was one of the zones I had the most fun in. If anyone has ever played EverQuest before, I'm pretty sure the developer who designed this like copy and pasted the Afridi farm in Nagafin's Lair Soul B. If you know what I'm talking about, like you'll see the molten imps running around, then you have the volcanic golems, like the mage pets. So like I picked up on that, and appreciated it. And then also this boss fight was like one of just the best highlights of just how smooth this build is to play through the campaign, where I'm an ogre, right? I don't think, like, I'm not good at pressing buttons. I'm not good at avoiding attacks. I just want to stand there, you know, click some buttons and have boss die on screen and me pick a blue. Like that's what I want. And this build is just like I don't even know what's happening on my screen. Like, sure, like, you know, I'm not doing the most damage in the world, but you know, like I'm just nothing's doing any damage to me, right? It's like the easiest gameplay experience of your life. It's so smooth. It feels so good to just stand there and just like don't have to worry about anything. I really enjoyed this playstyle. Like, it felt so cozy. Like, I just knew this boss couldn't fuck with me. Like, I just knew there was nothing you could do to kill me. And like that was a feeling I had on pretty much all of the Act 4 mini bosses. There was like only one exception. Like, there was the Yama exception, and that was it. All the other Act 4 bosses, like, I knew I couldn't get one shot by. And if you're not going to get one shot by anything, this build isn't going to die. So I mean, it was just an incredibly cozy like experience. And yeah, look, the DPS could be better, but look, a lot of that's on me. Like, a lot of that's just like I haven't really optimized around, like, you know, the power stuff. My gameplay is really ass. Like, I could be comboing way better. Like, yeah, I just, you know, that's on me. All right, don't blame the build for the lack of DPS. You blame me for lack of DPS. Right, there's a difference. But you know, just look up. I mean, this is fucking awesome, man. And it was and this was like a lot, like almost all of the Act 4, and really like Act 3 bosses, and most of the game was like this, which was a unique experience for me playing PoE2, when a lot of the times usually just like me being blasted in the ass. So it just like, you know, it was a nice change of pace. So while leveling during the league launch, obviously because I was far behind, so I died twice, so like at mid-act 2, you kept seeing like a spam of like mid-level or like low-level 50s, like old 51s, 52s, like keep dying. And I was like, God damn, like, what are these guys dying to? Like, there's clearly some boss out there that's just giving everybody. And there's two bosses in Act 4 that are the things responsible for killing most of the hardcore accounts this league. The first one is this one, and any veteran PoE knows that as soon as you start seeing a monster casting purple shit, it's like, ah, fuck, here we go again, dude. Like, oh, it's gonna be some fucking dumbass chaos damage. It's gonna like one-shot my character. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's just a chaos damage boss. I mean, purple equals chaos, right? And it has this mechanic. This mechanic almost one-shot me. Easy clap. I don't know how I survived that. I guess like I have 20 chaos res and a bunch of HP, like not that much, but a good chunk of it. I, you know, kind of survived it by the skin of my teeth. So if I had any less chaos res there, I imagine, or any less health, I'm pretty fucked. But yeah, after knowing that doesn't one-shot me, I'm like, all right, whatever. This is gonna be easy. But yeah, that was sketchy for a minute there, and yeah, that's a mechanic you should watch out for. But honestly, this boss, again, it's only a little bit of a pain in the ass since like you're a melee character, and there are, oh, I did DC during this fight, which was like another time. Like I got hit by the one shot, didn't die, and then DC'd mid boss fight and didn't die. It's like pretty unreal string of events for not dying. So I gotta thank Baby Jesus there. But honestly, Yama wasn't that tough. It was just, there were some times where he would put like the pool on the ground, and it would make it hard to hit, but you just reposition him and you do the combo and he dies. This boss was like the boogeyman. So I did spoil myself on this guy just a little bit, because I did watch Al Kaiser's rip clip when he did rip, and I did see that he just got like one shot by some like random, I didn't really see what he got one shot by. I just saw some lightning on the screen and he just died. So I knew this guy had some kind of like one-shot mechanic, and I was just kind of like hoping and praying that all of the like armor taking as elemental damage and armor acting as elemental damage mitigation, as long as having max res, as long as having like a bunch of HP would make it so I could take the one shot without having to do the mechanic, because you know I didn't know what the fucking mechanic was, right? I just saw the rip, so I had no idea like what I was actually supposed to be doing. Like I was even watching this back now, like what the fuck is happening on the screen? Like there are a bunch of rocks being thrown down, and then he's like over there, and now this is the one shot, right? Like I should be like going through the maze, I guess. I guess, but like how? I don't know, like when you're there, like who the fuck, you just see fucking, I don't know, dude, the boss just appears on your screen like he's about to do a one shot, like what do you do? Like chance. Boom. Not even close, baby. So yeah, I guess a lot of people just didn't, you know, weren't in here with max lightning res and just got one tapped by that thing. Ripperoni, pepperoni. But yeah, so once you get this guy, I mean, this guy's pretty squishy, so that wasn't too bad to go. Yeah, that was those are like the toughest encounters of the campaign, and so I mean, this build just was an incredibly smooth experience. I mean, those were all the one-shot mechanics. Those were all the new one-shot mechanics, and we didn't get one-shot. So I mean, like you can't really ask for a smoother experience than that after playing a character like this. And I actually appreciated how like they designed the pacing of some of the Act 4 bosses. Like that that lightning boss we just killed, for instance, was like very squishy, but had a one shot. And the end boss of Act 4, this Tavakala guy, like he doesn't have a one shot, but he has like 3 different phases. So it's like a very much like endurance based fight where you have to like, you know, conserve your resources, you know, intelligently, and not like, you know, spurg and just like play consistently well. And so it's cool that you had put through those experiences in the same act to offer both those kind of different like bossing styles. So I didn't love this fight just because like I felt like there's almost a little bit too many, like I guess one of the things with playing this build is that you do leave a lot of like visual clarity around, and it's like it's kind of hard to tell what the fuck is happening on the screen. Like look at this shit, like it's not really clear to me like how I'm supposed to be like evading all this stuff and like dealing damage at the same time as a melee character, and I guess the answer is like you don't. Yeah, see, damage not bad. Like especially once you like, the cool thing about this build too is like if you get better at the combo, you do a substantially more DPS. So like there is a little bit of like skill gap / issue when playing, which is noticeable. But yeah, easy game. I'm essentially posting this into the void. I have no idea who the hell is going to watch this. So if you do end up watching this and make it this far in the video, like genuinely let me know. Like I would be interested in knowing who the hell you are. Like I'll love picking your brain. I want to be doing more of this. So if you like what you see, like, you know, drop a follow, drop a like. I want to engage with you. So let me know what you think, and I'll be in the mix. So thank you for making this far, and I hope your league launch has been fun, man.